Perched on a basalt hillside just north of the Sea of Galilee lies the ancient town of Chorazin. Once a thriving Jewish village in the time of Jesus, today it stands in ruins, black volcanic stones scattered across the landscape like remnants of a forgotten warning. Unlike other biblical sites known for miracles and healing, Chorazin is remembered for something more sobering. It was one of the 3 towns that Jesus publicly rebuked for their lack of faith. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, Jesus says, "Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the miracles that were performed in you had been performed in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago." That's not just a passing comment, it's a direct and rare denunciation. These were towns where Jesus had taught, where his presence had been felt, where signs had occurred. Yet, something was missing. The people did not believe. Chorazin's name doesn't appear often in the New Testament, but its inclusion in that rebuke places it firmly in the heart of Jesus' Galilean ministry. It sits just a few miles from Capernaum, where Jesus based much of his early work, and from Bethsaida, where several of his disciples came from. These towns formed a triangle of opportunity, a concentrated region where divine truth walked in human form. And yet, Chorazin, despite the teachings and miracles, remained unmoved. Today, the ruins of Chorazin are among the most striking archaeological remains in northern Israel. The black basalt stones, native to the region, give the site a unique and almost haunting appearance. Among these ruins, one structure stands out above the rest: the ancient synagogue. The synagogue at Chorazin is remarkably well preserved. Built in the 3rd or 4th century AD, it may not be the exact building Jesus would have seen, but it sits on the same sacred ground. Its layout reflects classic Galilean synagogue design: benches along the walls, a central space for reading the Torah, and columns that once supported a roof. The stonework is detailed with carvings of pomegranates, grapevines, and even what many believe to be a depiction of the Ark of the Covenant. This place wasn't just a community gathering point, it was the heart of spiritual life. Nearby, archaeologists discovered a Moses seat, carved from stone. In synagogues of that era, it was the official seat where the teacher of the law would sit. When Jesus referred to the seat of Moses in Matthew 23, this is the kind of object he likely meant. To stand before it now is to stand face to face with a piece of the world Jesus knew, a world where teachings were delivered, questions were debated, and hearts were challenged. But despite all of this, the beauty of the land, the spiritual depth, the very presence of Jesus himself, the people of Chorazin didn't respond. And that's what makes this site so powerful. It reminds us that even those closest to divine truth can choose to ignore it. Chorazin is a symbol of missed opportunity. It's a monument to what happens when the sacred is taken for granted. The ruins themselves carry that message. Walking through Chorazin today, you won't find crowds or long lines. The silence is almost eerie. Wind moves through the stones, olive trees sway nearby, and everything feels frozen, as if time paused to preserve the lesson. This is not a place of celebration, it's a place of reflection. A place that asks hard questions. How many times have we heard truth and turned away? How often have we, like Chorazin, seen signs but chosen silence? And yet, there's value in this reminder. Chorazin wasn't wiped off the map. It wasn't erased from history. It was preserved. Perhaps so each generation could walk its broken streets and remember the cost of indifference. The fact that we can still visit, still see the synagogue, still sit on its stones, is an invitation to respond differently. If you're drawn to sacred places that challenge as much as they inspire, then subscribe to this channel. There are many more stories waiting, some filled with miracles, others with warnings, but all with lessons worth hearing.